So, Merton, there were additional advantages of having multinationals here.
Oh yeah, other than just the jobs, but they were great at educating people as part of their career. Like I was the beneficiary of that. Sent on many programs here in Ireland and even in the US, and which were hugely beneficial to me. But one of the great assets for Ireland has been the calibre, and still is today, is the calibre of the people here in terms of their work ethic, and in terms of their education and their background, and the culture here in Ireland, which is a very, what would I say, it's a very open, friendly, respectful environment in my view, and the Americans really like that, and have benefited hugely from that. Like Allegan was very good for Westport, but Westport was very good for Westport was very good for Allegan.
And of course the benefit of taxes collected on wages.
Yeah, absolutely. The indirect benefits. I remember one time when they were talking about changing corporate tax legislation in Ireland, we had a meeting with the department and other multinationals in the area, and with members from the EU, and explained to them the indirect benefits from the multinationals in terms of the capital spend, and in terms of the revenue from PRSI, USC, and all sorts of indirect taxes. So, in each company, I remember at that time we had a meeting with them here in Westport, went through the contributions that the companies were making, and they were actually, even people from the Department of Finance were surprised at that, at the extent of it.
You done a presentation on that at one time, yeah?
Yeah, we did a presentation down. Each company, there were 5 American companies. We wrote to them about the corporate tax system in Ireland.
Because it was under attack, was it?
Because it was under attack. This is back in the early 90s. And as a result, the members from the IDA, the Department of Finance, 3 of the MEPs from the EU, who were elected in the Connacht Ulster region that time, came on behalf of the EU. And I think it was a really eye-opening experience for all parties involved, in terms of their misconceptions, and I mean that, on the contributions of the multinationals and the benefits of the corporate tax system at that time. And somehow, I've heard recently some of the same old arguments being resurrected again, and I think, yeah, people sometimes don't fully understand the significance of it. And the unique position that Ireland has in the country, as I mentioned earlier, or in Europe, as I mentioned earlier.
I think it gave great confidence to a lot of people. Like you see tradesmen going around with vans with their names up on it and all this kind of stuff, and people going into different businesses from the confidence they got from multinationals, who have been trained by multinationals really, and their own education system, of course. But anyway.
Well, they say for every, not just with multinationals, but for all manufacturing companies, whether multinational or domestic or whatever, but for every multinational job, manufacturing job created, that not multinational, but for every manufacturing job created, be it domestic or multinational, it creates 4 additional indirect jobs.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Statistic. Yeah.
That's 5 jobs really.
That's right. Yeah.